Why is the Leaf logo in a different position on every car? It is frustrating. It's like it's higher up and more to that side, and it's crooked, and it's straight on the other. Alright, so it is quite a long time since the last video, and this is for good reason. We have been super busy, but in a good way. We're actually converting cars now. We have done 4 cars already, and we're going to do 4 cars in the next 2 weeks. After which we will go on holiday. Well, not quite. We have another week where we can fix problems with people's cars and that kind of stuff. And then we're going to go on vacation for a week or 2, maybe. So yeah, things are going well. The fact that we are converting beta customers' cars already also means that we actually have money. We can buy stuff like batteries, which I will get to later. And we also have money to hire people. So we have our first full-time employee now. We're really happy with the extra help. But unfortunately, it also takes a lot of time to get people going, to teach them the ropes. And this has eaten up so much of our time. Also, like the admin, that kind of stuff. So basically, I put my priorities in getting people's batteries out and not doing that much in promotion. This is obviously going to change. It looks like we're actually going to have some breathing room in the next few weeks. So all the things that I'm discussing in this video, we are going to show you in the next few weeks. Now, you'll probably also be interested in how our first beta customer, the customer that has had his battery for more than a month now, how he's faring, and it seems like it's going okay. He's had issues with fast charging. This was a known issue, and it seems like this weekend we have solved it after 2 tries that didn't work. I think now I have the software down that it's good. He's already tested it once. I've tested it a couple times on my own car. And that was pretty much the last deal-breaking bug that we had in the car, a bug that actually caused a warning light to come on occasionally. So yeah, we're on track to doing nice things. The planning now is up until our summer holiday, it's only going to be beta cars. So our beta customers are people that are relatively close by, or at least willing to go with our beta program. We've invited all of them, and we have the conversion dates all planned out for the next 4 cars. During that last week after the last conversion and our holidays, we're not just interested in the hard technical faults that happened, but also just a general experience with the extender battery and what people like about it, what they don't like about it, vehicle handling, that kind of stuff. And hopefully after the holidays we're going to go into full production, and the whole pre-order list is going to be finished quite quickly by our standards. Now that also means that we are going to open the pre-order list again after the holidays, when we're really confident in our product, when we're going out of this beta stage. We are going to open up new orders that are probably going to be fulfilled at the earliest end of October, probably beginning of November. Right. So with that preamble out of the way, I kind of want to show you stuff about the conversion. So here I've opened up the battery. Right now the lid is loose. So I can show you the inside. So it's been a very long time, but most of my longtime viewers probably have seen the arrangement of the batteries in the 2011 Leaf. And this is what it's like in the 2014 Leaf. So in the 2011, I have a row of 8 battery modules and then another row on top, so it's fairly tall. In the 2014, you basically get the twice as thin battery pack because the batteries can be arranged behind each other. And then we have the humps on the side for the extra 4 modules. You won't be able to open up your battery pack to look at this. Obviously, this is way too dangerous. There's high voltage here. There's always high voltage present. So that's why I'm showing it here. Now, aside from the battery modules themselves, here in the left there are some electronics and a relay. And on the right here, there is nothing. Keep this in mind for later. And then this is the view with the lid on. Here you can see roughly the load floor is still quite a bit under the lip of the car, and also under the level where the seats fold flat. So yeah, you lose a lot less storage space than you did with the 2011 version. Now there's one slight downside with this arrangement, and that is we're currently not accepting orders for the small battery pack in a 2014 Leaf. Theoretically, we could make it a little bit smaller by removing those humps, but this would require us making a whole new mold, and we just don't have time to do that. Well, you can get a small battery pack from us for the stated price, about 4,000 euros. For the 2014 Leaf, but you won't get a smaller, like physically smaller package. It will be the same size, but it will just be mostly empty inside. And there is a small cubby here. And what we're going to do with that will become clearer later. Alright, we're in the car. First thing I want to show you is we are giving you nice customized keychain tags with your number plate on it. We like those. We 3D printed them. Anyway, when your car is converted, you will get obviously the very nice rich. It said 300 kilometers, like in the last take I did. Meh. Anyway, and of course, this is what I'm so jealous about. This car now has 36 kilowatt hours usable, and that is way more than our own personal car, which only has about 32 kilowatt hours usable. So we're very jealous of this car. Also, obviously this is 2014, that's a 2011. There are some differences. I might want to upgrade sometime, but anyway, this is pretty much the experience you're going to have with this car. You're going to have between the very old cars 32 kilowatt hours, and the original battery capacity for this car was 19.3 kilowatt hours, so it was almost new. They're about 21 kilowatt hours completely new. And the battery capacity of our car was like 16, so that mostly explains the difference. Also, this car will charge further because its battery is like the VCM software is slightly different. This car will charge up to 397 volts, and that car only does 392, 393. So yeah, there are some differences that cause this car to have much more capacity. If you would have a brand new 24 kilowatt hour Leaf with 21.3 kilowatt hours usable, which is the max that you see on forums like My Nissan Leaf and Speak EV, you will have 38.5 kilowatt hours of usable capacity. We'll actually have more than the Leaf 40 kilowatt hour. So yeah, this is an awesome car now. So a few other odds and ends. The battery box is like really strong. You can just sit on it. You can load it up as much as you like. It is like maybe if you throw a hammer at it, it might fracture a little bit, but like your car will be ruined if you throw a hammer at it anyway. So I expect you're not gonna do that. We're hoping to get somebody or some company to manufacture mats for us that fit over top, or at least fit in like the lower section, so the battery box doesn't get scuffed as much. We are not quite sure about the finish of the battery box. We're hoping that the gel coat that we apply was good enough, but honestly, there's still some marks on the battery box when we get it out of the mold. So we need to put some kind of clear coat or hard coat on it. We've ordered some things. That's one of these things in the beta process. We're gonna figure that out. We have found one manufacturer for mats, but they charge over €100 for a single mat, and that's just too much to fit in our margins. I'm not sure if people are willing to pay €100 for like a tiny, almost rectangular mat that fits inside. You can just as well make it yourself from a bit of carpet or something. But now we get to the fun stuff. We haven't just been doing the extender battery, obviously. We know that this business model, making extender batteries for the Nissan Leaf, is not very sustainable. At some point in the future, we're going to have competition. We're going to have... that's an electric Nero. Yeah, we're going to have people with like companies coming out with better electric cars. People are just not willing to spend another 6,000 or more euros on their old Nissan Leaf. So we're aware of that. We know that. And two of those are hopefully coming to fruition next week, pretty much. Number one is, I think, the thing I'm most excited about. No. Number two is kind of cool too. Number one is we are getting a delivery of 2 salvage 40 kilowatt hour Leaf batteries. And as you might know, the Nissan Leaf, the new Leaf 2018, it's pretty much the old Leaf with the new skin. There are some very minor electronic updates, but basically it's the same car. It's even got pretty much the same motor, slightly beefier inverter. It is basically the same. And the same goes for the battery shell. We've had a delivery a few months ago of a 40 kilowatt hour battery shell. And as it turns out, it is exactly the same as the 24 kilowatt hour, down to the connectors, down to the pinouts. So we expect to be able to just put a 40 kilowatt hour Leaf battery on a 2011 Leaf, originally 24 kilowatt hour. Very exciting, but people have tried this, of course, and failed because the CAN communication is not quite the same. There's a handshake protocol thingy that is different, and there are some slight parameter differences in the CAN messages. Fortunately for us, we have full control over the CAN bus, so we can do a translation. We can do a translation between the old battery and the new battery. And also to that end, I have received a small thing from I guess EV type friend, somebody from Finland who has a battery pairing tool that I can loan from him and try to do pairing. I'm very interested in how well that's going to go, but I'm also pretty confident. I've had a couple of other people make CAN traces of the 40 kilowatt hour battery. I of course have lots of CAN traces for my own battery. So basically, before the summer holiday, I will be putting a 40 kilowatt hour Leaf battery under my 2011 Leaf, and hopefully driving around with 55 kilowatt hours of usable capacity. That's going to be fun. Now this entire project wouldn't be possible without one of our pre-order customers, Jite. He is willing to pitch in, basically prepay for a 40 kilowatt hour conversion for him, which obviously we haven't done yet. We're not offering yet. It might take months before it's ready. But yeah, he's willing to basically pay for our R&D costs to do this, in exchange for, at some point in time, hopefully before the winter, getting a 30 kilowatt hour battery under his old Nissan Leaf. So very many thanks to him, and we wouldn't be doing this without him. Now, thing the second we are doing right now, and I am super excited about this. I'm not sure how popular this will be, but it's three-phase charging. Very simple. We have bought these chargers called, most people in the EV world know these, TC chargers, fairly popular with the DIY crowd. And, well, basically, the old Nissan Leaf, it only has a 3 kilowatt charger. And that means that we basically never use public charging infrastructure. It's useless. With a 30-something kilowatt hour battery, it takes 10 hours to go from empty to full. But like even if you're like we do, we go on holiday in Germany. There are basically no fast chargers around at the nice holiday locations. So They do have a lot of free three-phase charging infrastructure, if you know what I mean. But there's no use plugging in. We'll go to some city, walk around for 2 hours, come back, and oh, whoop-de-doo, we have 5 kilowatt hours extra. That's just not very useful. But with a three-phase charger, we would be full with 11 kilowatts. So that's pretty much the idea behind it. Also, this car has a 6 kilowatt charger, like most 2013 and later Leafs have. But a lot of the charging infrastructure, the AC charging infrastructure in the Netherlands and maybe outside of the Netherlands as well, it's all 16 amps. So if you're plugged in with a 32 amp onboard charger in a 16 amp outlet, it's only going to give you 16 amps. So effectively, this is a 3 kilowatt charger most of the time. If it would be three phase, it would be 3 times as fast. Let me just show you a couple of bits and bobs, and it's kind of interesting. So here's one of these chargers. They come from China. They're really good quality. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do a teardown on this. They are completely potted, so there's very little to see inside, but they're really nice construction quality, really high efficiency. They're about 94% efficient, so they have twice as little loss as the onboard charger, which is kind of good. But yeah, this is just something we buy, obviously. There's a new cable loom. Obviously, the Nissan Leaf, they have the J7072 Type 1 inlet on the front that will have to be replaced by Type 2. So what's colloquially known as Medicus, to enable the extra three-phase pins. Right, and we have 2 bits of electronics. This is the charger controller, so this interfaces directly with the charger and with the car itself. So when this device sees that the car is charging, it will attempt to also engage the other phases if there is actually three-phase power available. And it will also be automatically able to sense whether you're plugged into a 32 amp socket or more and only charging at 16 amps. Then it can also do single phase 32 amp charging. So this is something I will also be using in my car, my 2011 Leaf. Now the second bit of electronics here is what I call the port power controller. This is what fits inside that cubby hole, or actually inside the little void space that is still left in this battery box. This white thing, it's actually translucent. This is a LED ring that will light up if you have something plugged in. So the idea is that as an optional extra to the extender battery, you'll be able to purchase this power port controller that enables you to plug in things like an extra charger or maybe an inverter that goes to 230 volts AC or 115 if you want, and that kind of stuff. So the battery box will become an extendable battery and will become like a giant power bank as well. And there will be an open protocol and pinout and everything, so you can develop your own electronics to interface with the battery and make use of that 400 volts DC and that giant battery that you have. So this is hopefully a very nice addition, very nice blank canvas addition to the extender battery. And of course, not to forget, I know people have been asking about this. We're also still working on, well, it's kind of been in the freezer for the last few months due to ramping up production, but we're working on the charging pit and we're also working on the granny charger, both of which are pretty far along. We're just looking for some time to finish them up. And in case of this, we need to prototype it. We need to reserve some time for the mill and actually make it. We have all the materials, we have the drawings. It's just a matter of doing it at some point. Oh, and of course, we're also still working on aero mods. Likewise, temporarily halted that to put our priorities to actually manufacturing the extender batteries, but we're going to be working on it real soon. So yeah, those are some of our future endeavors. And just to be really clear, we have no fixed time path for this. First priority is getting out the extender batteries as quickly as possible. And after that, we will be commercializing the 40 kilowatt hour main battery upgrade, three-phase charging, if this all works, like maybe there is some deal breaker thing that means we cannot finish it. We don't know yet. We think it's pretty obvious how we're gonna do it, but you never know. And of course, we're expanding to the EMV 200, and at some point, I mean, we want to do other electric cars too. We want to upgrade all the cars, so maybe even the new Leaf. Once we know how the 40 kilowatt hour battery works, it should be pretty easy to extend the capacity of that one too. Make Leaf E pluses for less money than a Leaf E plus. So yeah, it's going to be really cool. So yeah, that's pretty much what we've been doing for the last few months. It is a pity that I haven't been able to show you much of it, but we're gonna have some breathing room in the next few weeks. Hopefully I'll be making more videos and showing you everything, because it's just awesome. All right, thanks for watching, and see you later.